Sometimes medics are in 3 or 4 trucks behind you, and that short time for them to get to you, you can already be administering life-saving aid.
Once they arrive at their rally point out of the kill zone, then they reassess and determine whether or not they need a medevac, where they'll call in a 9-line medevac request to their higher headquarters and wait for a bird to land for the LZ medevac. They'll establish security for the bird to land and evacuate their casualties.
Yeah, Primo 1, this is Primo 3. Just radio over to me when the medevac is gonna come, and then I'll send it over on the LMR.
On the other side of the range, Oklahoma crews are improving their shooting skills and coordinating their ability to move, shoot, and communicate.
Live explosions going off around you. I mean,
Simulators.
blank rounds firing off at you, just everything actually tactically lining up in the convoys and making it seem as if you're actually there. I mean, the sounds, the smells, the sights, everything. They actually have people out there dressed up as local civilians, and they speak nothing but Arabic, so you're forced to actually use your cards and stuff and speak Arabic to them. So they make it as realistic as possible.
In the Arab village, guardsmen deal with many of the problems they'll face in Iraq, like separating friend from foe. Someone here is a suicide bomber, but who? It doesn't take long to find out.
This guy's okay, he just has some bleeding from his arm. He's breathing, talking.
Yeah, great.
I just got some bleeding on my head. Just give me a dressing, I'll be all right. I can walk and talk, obviously. He has one right here. We need to dress it.
Okay, probably best suggestion would be to move out of the kill zone, right? Yeah. You don't want to stay in the area where the insurgents have already hit you. Okay. There could be more. Could there be more than one P-bed? All right, you guys get ready to set up the LZ. Here comes a second or even a third P-bed. And they hit you guys as soon as you're taking these guys out of the vehicle, right? Yes. Full?
Central Texas in summer is a close substitute for Iraq. It's hot, it's dusty, and each man carries 15 to 20 pounds in body armor and gear. To get a closer look, the soldiers walk 2 city blocks filled with the many different kinds of IEDs that will be waiting for them in Iraq.
All right, like I was saying, if you saw that car from right about here, what should you be thinking?
IED. Stop.
All right, could be a possible VBAD, correct? All right, so other than the fact it's suspiciously parked in my training area, what are some indicators this VBAD?
Wires under the hood.
All right, wires is parked, well, it's not that close to the road, but it's near a choke point where you got to slow down to turn. And it also has a RC device on it that's a key fob, you know, like you lock your car. What they see as indicators, you want them to get a closer look at it so that they actually know what they're identifying, what they're looking for. Because just like I say, there's a lot of things that are possible indicators, but you actually have to find some way to confirm it.
All right, performance steps. Identify what constitutes an IED threat. Possible markers and telltale signs of an IED. Do not get them confused. Just because you see something out there doesn't make it an IED. Check. All right, so what are some possible markers? How about trash? Trash piled up? Potholes, recently filled in potholes? Curbs? Dead animals? Stuff out of the ordinary? Dead brush that doesn't belong? Those are possible markers of an IED. Your container is the rubble itself. It blends in real good. You have the HME. They could use chemicals inside the containers with your deck cord coming out, and your switch is your remote control telephone. Telltale signs. You have your charge inside the gas tank. Your copper wire running inside the vehicle to a 12-volt battery. You have a battery inside the vehicle that doesn't belong. You have wires running from the battery to the talk about radio, you also have the tank, could be a propane tank, could be some type of igniter fluid that they want to use to blow up the vehicle, run into the talk about radio.
After months of training, the vehicles and gear are loaded up and shipped out to the Middle East.
Obviously, we have listened to the news over the last few months, especially in the areas where we're going to be going, and have had a heightened sense of awareness of what's going on in those areas.
In Iraq, the number of American casualties has dropped significantly as a result of the surge, but violence continues to claim the lives of U.S. servicemen.
Every time something's going on over there, they're changing it back home and getting the training as realistic and up to date as possible. So hopefully when we get over there, whatever we get hit with, whatever happens, we're going to be ready for it.
I'm very anxious. I think that's actually been the hardest part about this past year, is just waiting.
You never really get used to it, but you just smile, you take it, you say, this is what I signed up for, this is what I'm going to do, and you just do it.
As Oklahoma's sons and daughters get on the plane, they are all aware of the reality of what could happen. Even so, they're focused on the mission ahead and sustained by the support of those who remain at home.
And so we'll be ready. We feel like that all of the training and the equipment that we're receiving, we'll be ready to go and do the mission that we're asked.
More than 800 soldiers of the 45th Fires Brigade left Fort Hood, Texas for Ramadi, Iraq in the summer of 2008. They're due to come home in the fall of 2009. Some have come home early, involuntarily, including Corporal Adam Schuster, who was wounded while on a security patrol. Oklahoma Adjutant General Miles Deering called him a shining example of a citizen soldier in action.
Corporal Schuster could have quit right after he was hit and no one would have faulted him. But instead, as a convoy commander, he did not give up his responsibilities until he was relieved and ensured that they were out of danger. Only then he received medical care.
Corporal Schuster received the Purple Heart from General Deering and Governor Brad Henry in June 2009, becoming the 15th Oklahoma National Guard soldier to receive that award after being wounded in the current conflict over there. To order a copy of this program, please send a check or money order for $22.95 to the OETA Foundation, Post Office Box 14190, Oklahoma City 73113, or call 800-879-6382.